Hello, everyone. This is Whitney Well from Star Hearth Astrology, and I'm here speaking to you from the shadow of the eclipse, um, during the eclipse. And it's been a really intense time for me, and I am sure for you too, these last couple of weeks. Um, we feel a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure from inside and from outside. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of pain. And I think we all feel it. And I think that those of us that are drawn to astrology, while that covers a vast swath of people, right, we're drawn to these alternative ways of seeing things because the dominant ways of seeing things miss the point. They reduce the complexity of the things that we feel and the truth that, right, that the world is interdisciplinary, that sorting things out into politics and sociology and anthropology and economics and domestic life and all of these specializations that separate the world from itself are abstractions. Um, and in the world of feeling, everything smooshes together. And it can be hard to find a language for that. And I think that, right, astrology provides a good scaffold for being with everything that we feel and with everything that we know, regardless of whether we have an articulated explanation for it. And so I just sat here feeling the immensity of what was happening and feeling the push and pull of every email I need to answer that's overdue, every message, my sourdough, my water kefir, my children, my house, all of the tasks that pull on me and feeling disconnected from myself in my effort to do things, to do as much as I can, as fast as I can. And how I can sometimes begin the day already feeling like I'm failing and end the day in exactly the same spot because I am at a place in life when the demands on me at every moment are so high that it's impossible. And yet, under that, when I get a moment of silence to feel everything, there's an incredible richness. And I can connect with a lot more. I think that I try to show up in these professional spaces as a professional as best I can. And then I feel incredibly guilty and incredibly immature if it takes me a while to respond to an email. Um, and somehow, if I could just rush fast enough, that I would be able to escape that. And yet, that professionalism is a block to connecting with people. And so the kind of truth that came to me while I was taking a few moments to connect with myself this morning was that truth is medicine. Just tell the truth. The only thing that we need to do to heal the world and ourselves is to tell the truth. And telling the truth is messy and it's imperfect, and there's no way to do it without hurting people, and there's no way to do it without wounding yourself, and yet the denial of it is death. So, of course, the idea of all you need to do is tell the truth hit me, and that is an Aries piece. That is a solar eclipse conjunct Chiron. Chiron is the medicine. Aries is the spontaneity, the truth, the authenticity of just what is true in this moment. They are also conjunct a retrograde Mercury that's heading towards its cazimi on Thursday. So whatever truths you're trying to walk around, that is the medicine. The medicine is forgiving yourself for who you are, understanding that many of your choices were made for you, and speaking your truth, not to convince other people of it, and not to convince yourself of it. When we are over explaining, we are justifying, and justifying is not that true voice, because that true voice, right? It doesn't, when we have found our authenticity, there is no urgency in our communication. When we have found our authenticity, the response of other people does not create the validity to what we are saying, right? We offer it as letting people know where we are. And that's always the kind of astrologer and the kind of social media presence that I have wanted to have. A quiet place of authenticity. For people to rest and ask questions. And it's when I'm pushing myself to do all of the things, to complete my Virgo journey of trying to feel worthy of my life and my place in the world, that I can't keep it up and I can't be present all the time. And I lose myself to the parts of me that want to take over and be professional, that want to serve my audience and my clients, but think, right, that all you want is my professionalism, is my brain, and not my heart as well. And part of this is being present as myself, as a person, as a Saturn ruled being who moves in my authenticity quite slowly. This eclipse is about connecting back to that spontaneity, to that authentic spontaneity, to honor what arises in the moment, in the present, as the truth, and to not hold on to it. Because that's the other piece of Aries, is the not holding on, right? If you keep moving, your mind changes. What is present changes. You are on to the next adventure. The ending of one is the beginning of another. You might switch halfway. Leo is fixed fire. Leo wants to hold onto it. And what Leo can do beautifully is create a warm hearth. Aries is about following what spontaneously arises as your mission. And so these weeks, right? These weeks of chaotic astrology that we've been in and that we will continue to be in through the rest of April. We stay present, right? We don't get locked in the Leonine fantasy of this is what will be forever. We don't get stuck in the other fire fantasy of Sagittarius, which I am very guilty of also. I have to make meaning from this right now. I need to take what I see and I need to instantly analyze, summarize, synthesize, deliver it back to you. Aries. State what is obvious. Say what you see. Allow yourself to accept influence from the people and the truth around you. And that is how you'll change. That is how you will understand what you truly have in terms of resources. Jupiter and Uranus will conjoin the third week of April. It's one of the biggest headlines astrology of the year. This is using resources in new ways, which means you need to have new uses, which means you need to be honest about what you have. And so you do not have to know where all of this is going. Just speak your truth, raise your hand, and let us know where you are. And I'll try and do the same. You can find me sometimes on YouTube and TikTok also, if you want to show up there. Also, if you know anyone in Washington State who is looking for an astro-literate therapist, I see individuals and couples in my private therapy practice there. And that's where you can find me a lot of the time. Okay, hope you have a good eclipse. I hope insights and connections come to you at whatever pace they need to. And I'll see you next time.